name's Molly Wagner. I am a project manager at Walk Sacramento and have been there for about 4 years. I oversee a lot of our Safe Routes to School programs throughout the region, as well as working on projects around safe routes to parks and healthy retail, as well as health and all policies and land use. I grew up in a very active, outdoor focused family. Being outdoors for us was a way to connect through play and bond with each other, as well as learning really valuable life lessons about the decisions that we make and how we work in an environment. Through that, I gained this desire and interest in more of the built environment around how do people interact, and also how does the environment that they're in influence their everyday decisions, how they move, and then also really their overall quality of life. And that kind of led me to looking at, well, transportation and active transportation really are kind of at the root of how we do everything. Our mission at Walk is that we work to improve quality of life and health equity through community-centered policy and systems change in land use, transportation, and community development. So more specifically, looking at ways that we can provide programs and education, so through Safe Routes to School, for example, but then also working with community members and helping them really prioritize and have a voice in the planning processes that shape their neighborhoods through projects that are really led by communities. And then the other thing that we do is working with our partners at the local, regional, and state level to provide technical assistance and advocacy around health and all policies, strategies, as well as active transportation for Sacramento region. I think there is a silver lining in a way that I'm finally seeing a lot of government employees, planners, engineers, professionals really wake up and say, we've been doing community engagement wrong, and we can't just say that a meeting is all we need to do anymore. So I think there's a real effort in saying every project we do needs to be tailored to that community, and how we carry out that project from engagement before, during, and after will look different, and that's okay. I think it's so important that we recognize that residents that live in a community are experts of their community. So they know what's working and they know what isn't working. And we need to recognize that and make sure that we're building capacity for them so that they can really actively participate. What that really means is that we have budgets to pay our community members to be active participants and collaborate on projects. It also means that we are allocating resources to make sure that we're reaching residents in those communities. So having translation services, having childcare, they're all really simple solutions, but when we start to bring those together, our end goals and projects are much more reflective of the residents that live in that community. So some of the key values that I've been coming back to recently is language. I think oftentimes as professionals, we might get caught up in the newest buzzword around active transportation or urban planning and things like that. But to a community resident who's not familiar with that world, those words might not mean anything to them. And so if we are advertising something as a charrette, but the community doesn't have any context to what that means, that can risk sending a message that it's not for them and it's exclusive to certain members of the community, especially our communities that have continued to be disinvested in. I think it's really important that we continue to check our language and make sure that as we communicate with communities, no matter where you are, that you're checking your context and that you're working with residents in those communities so that your communication is more successful and is one built upon trust and humbleness, as well as creating a space that's safe for people to participate. The future of active transportation would look like one where residents, regardless of age, race, income, ability, have access that is reliable, safe, and convenient to get to where they need to go, so that they can go on living a healthy and happy life. And to me, what that really looks like is that we've broken down the silos between different professions. So, right now, we see a lot of planners working in the planning silo, and then we have the health professional silo, and so on. And so, what I really want to see and get back to is one where we're really working as a collective ecosystem to work towards those goals so that everyone has that access to opportunity and transportation is no longer a barrier.